First things first, Samu, how are you?
I'm good, good. It's the 7th, 8th show on the tour already, so things are rolling, and had a beautiful day off in Amsterdam yesterday with everybody, so yeah, can't complain.
What is it feeling like whenever you go back on tour? Because obviously you have also a lot of other stuff that you do, so whenever the time comes to go back on tour, what is the feeling?
Well, it feels like going home in a bit, because it's like, you know, kind of familiar. You see all the highways, you see the backstages, the hotels and the venues, and it feels great. And especially always having like new music, new songs and stuff. And obviously it's been super amazing how people have taken the new album, because now in the rooms you can actually hear people singing like track number 9, all the verses and stuff, and it feels nice. It's super good.
That's very good. So before we talk more about the album, I'd like to jump back a little bit. And there are some lyrics I've written down, and I kind of want to go through them. And one of the lyrics, and I can't remember which song it was, but tell me what made you hungry.
Yeah.
Do you remember what got you hungry for music early on in your life?
Oh, it was like a clear moment. I was 8 years old, and I was hanging out with my friends at one of my friends' place, and we were watching like a chart show on TV with a lot of music videos actually. Okay. MTV was, we didn't see MTV in Finland back then because, I don't know, we didn't have the satellite, but anyways, it's a Finnish program, and I saw the music video of Bon Jovi, You Give Love a Bad Name, and that's what, like, okay, I want to do that. And funny enough, I mean, nowadays Sunrise Avenue is vocal guitars, guitar, bass, keyboards and drums. It's a bit Freudian, like, where does it come from? But that was a moment when I felt something that, okay, maybe playing music would be cool. And then when I got the guitar later on, of course, that's when it takes you over.
What was it about Bon Jovi then? And to this day, do you still have that connection with Bon Jovi?
I have a connection with the old Bon Jovi songs. I don't really listen to the new stuff. Maybe something happened. I don't feel connection with the last, I don't know, 4 albums, 5 albums maybe. But I mean, I have huge respect for the band. They've been on for like, I don't know, 30 years or something, and they're still touring and still doing their thing. I think the original Richie Sambora, John, you know, the original pack would have been the dream thing for me, but big respect. And I still sometimes listen to the old stuff. There's some cool energy in the songs. Okay.
When you started writing songs, what were you looking for in your own songs?
I don't know, when you start writing songs in the beginning, you're like trying to make some sense with what you play or sing. I mean, of course, the early songs are a bit silly and they're very simple, but I think they're actually quite good. But I don't think you want to do anything. You write songs because you feel that you, I don't know, feel something inside you and you want to say it with music. It's the same as somebody is a dancer. They want to reflect their emotions or, you know, tell their story, what they feel inside. Or a painter makes a portrait painting, whatever. The core reason to make music is to let something out of your system, and that's the best thing ever. I'm very, very lucky that I have music to communicate what I have inside me.
Was there a moment that you realized this, that you can use music in this way?
Yeah, I figured it out actually pretty early, like especially the slower songs or the more, let's say, darker songs. It always made me feel kind of, yeah, even more bad, but in a good way. It felt good to connect it with music. And nowadays, if you listen to the new album, there's a lot of songs where it's about like these little painful things that we all have in our hearts, in our lives. And yeah, I realized it really young that it made me feel better. It was like a mother or father like taking me into their arms when I sang the songs or played the songs, like a beautiful melody.
And then I believe you started, well, what was first Sunrise in the beginning, but then I read something and it was in German, and my German isn't the best, so I'm not sure if this is correct, but you were working in a tech company?
Oh yeah.
So what, is it true that Fight Club kind of urged you to pursue your dream, so to say?
No, it's true. I mean, I always had the band since I was 16, but then it never really happened. And then I, of course, realized that I have to eat something and I have to live somewhere, and I need to, you know, I need to live a life too, because I didn't get any money from music. I started taking jobs. And at some point I realized I was a key account manager for a big technology company. I was doing technology presentations and stuff, and it was actually quite much fun. But then I had this vision that, okay, my life is going to be like working in the office like Dad always did, and I didn't want that in a way. And then I watched the movie Fight Club, and there's this scene where they just like explode their lives and let everything go. And this is the moment when I realized, like, okay, I have to let go of this job, this career, and just give my everything to music. Maybe it works out, and I'm happy it did.
What you just mentioned, I find it interesting. You said like Dad always did, which I didn't want to. How come?
I even had a song. I don't want to be a man like you, Daddy, don't you know it? I don't want to be a gray hair, no, something like that. I was like, I never thought that I would want to have like a successful life with money and a career in an office where I have to go, somebody else tells me what to do. And then I would have this beautiful house, maybe 2 kids and a dog and 2 Mercedes Benzes and 1 BMW and a lot of money. I think it was a little scary to me to have a life like that. I never ever wanted that. And then I always felt like I have to try this other thing as well, because I could never look myself in the mirror and say like, okay, you have a nice career and you're drinking whiskey in your nice living room, but you're not happy. So, but I mean, I love my dad. He's a really cool guy, and he's a very intelligent and a loving guy, but I realized very young that this is not what I want.
And those couple of years after you made that decision then, were they difficult?
Oh, Jesus, like, I gave away a company BMW, I gave away the company phone, I gave the company credit cards away, and then I was living in my like 36 square meter little box on the bad side of town, just 1 guitar that was a bit slightly broken. I was like, what the fuck do I do now? And yeah, it was difficult, but it was also actually quite beautiful times. Like, it was just me against the world, and then I put the band together and like some new members in the band, and I started visiting record companies, and I did that until I found the deal. It was beautiful being alone fighting for the dream.
And that's I find that part of it fascinating, because what is the drive then in those years? And like you say, you went to all these record companies. They keep telling you no. I believe they said no. You need to have black makeup and black that kind of stuff. So what keeps you going? Is it a certain belief in yourself, or?
I felt the music. I mean, they really said nasty things at the record companies, like, you will never be nobody will listen to you, have a terrible voice, nobody would listen to your, but I think that's also a test you have to pass in a way. But then the songs got better all the time, and I started really liking them a lot. And then we played some shows with the guys back then, also like weddings and birthday parties, school parties, whatever, student parties. And I realized that the same people kept coming to our shows, like came back. It was like sometimes to the bass player, like, those 2 girls, they were at the show 3 weeks ago. It's like, yeah, they came back. And it's like, you felt like, okay, maybe there is something. I don't know, I mean, I've been thinking about it myself. Why the hell, if 90 record companies tell you like, no, maybe you should go home and realize like, maybe this is not my thing. But there was something inside me saying like, you know, we're going to do this. Was
there a limit you set yourself, maybe? Because I've heard stories like this before, where, okay, if it doesn't happen in 3 or 5 years or whatever, then I'm going to go back to my regular job.
Okay, but if you want to have a girlfriend, and you're like lonely, or girlfriend or a boyfriend, and then you feel, okay, I really want to meet somebody, and then you meet 5 people, and it just doesn't feel right, do you quit? Well, you seek until you found what you look for. I mean, why not to?
Yeah, fair enough.
I went to 102 record companies and, I mean, publishers, agencies, but 102 times I knocked on the door, had an appointment, went in. Definitely would have done 100 more. Okay. It was already fun. It was like they were warming up slowly, bit by bit, and it was like a game I was playing against the music world.
Right, and so now then, obviously, now you're doing well for yourself, and then. Is the way you enjoy music now very different than to those days?
Well, I have to admit that maybe in the beginning, then the couple first albums was like, look everybody, this happened, like, fuck you, you were wrong. Right. And especially now, after having a bit of a break from performing with the band and like a couple of years away, it's very honest. It's just about life. It's very folky. It's very like 70s love songs. It's not rock and roll at all. It's like, there is the energy and we're doing it with passion and everything, but it's much more relaxed in a good way. I don't think anybody's like trying to play a role or anything anymore. It's like, it feels very, very pure. And for me, honestly, I don't care about the sales numbers. I mean, they are really great at the moment, but and they've been good for a really long time. But the way we feel on stage is the best we ever had so far.
And is that something, because you mentioned that time away, and obviously you did The Voice in Germany. So did you miss it? Did you start to miss that kind of feeling and being on stage? And
But yeah, I was, of course, I mean, I liked to do it already before the break. It was fun and everything, but it was a lot. It was like 100 shows a year, then doing like Voice of Germany, 4 seasons in a row, other TV shows in Finland, and then everything else that you do in your life. And it was a lot like, I can't stand this noise, and then going away for a little while. And yeah, I was missing it, but I really also decided that it has to be really good until we go back with the guys.
So what was that period where you kind of went away? Like, did you think about writing new material and think about what the next album would or should be?
I didn't make any plans really.
Okay.
I just went away and I wanted to be alone. I just write alone, and then with some new people, like I could write with you too. Like, let's take guitars and pianos and see what comes out. But no, I didn't have no idea. I tried hard rock and I tried everything. I wanted to see like, where is my, you know, like, wow, okay, this feels great. And then finally the acoustic folk thing, it felt so good. It just felt so right. And I was like, okay, what do we have to lose? Like, if somebody doesn't like this, then they don't like it, but we love it anyway, so we go with that.
So now that the album is finished and everything, do you know why that felt right for you at the time? That folky approach and just acoustic guitar. Do you know? Have you thought about why?
I think if you dress your music cake with a lot of cream and strawberries and stuff, if you have a lot of like guitars and drums and programming and synthesizers, like if you have a lot of that stuff going on, the thing you say kind of gets disappeared inside the, you know, in the whole mess. When you have a piano or an acoustic guitar and you say small things like, you are beautiful the way you are, it feels stronger. But if you would have like, it would be like, I don't know, maybe it's like, feels more honest. And then when I decided, okay, it's gonna be like the 4 on the floor and the acoustic guitar like they did in the 70s, whatever, then you can say also very simple things like, you know, I love you, or like, I miss you, or let me go, I feel lonely, whatever. And it started feeling really, really like strong inside. And that's when I knew, okay, we cannot put like the big guitars or the big programming or synths into the songs.
Right. And I wrote a bunch of lyrics down, and we don't have to get into all of them. But, well, let me ask this first time. What was the first song, or maybe the first 2 songs that kind of found their way to you?
Well, the first song was actually the first song on the album. It's called Never Let Go. I wrote it with Kurt Nilsen. He is the World Idol winner, a funny guy in Oslo, in Norway. And I just happened to be there for a few days just to get inspiration and meet the people in Norwegian music industry. And he was really funny. And we just like took guitars, and he's like a folky guy. And that's when it all started. I felt, okay, there's something really cool about this super simple whatever. There's nothing cool about the song. Not in the lyrics, nowhere. It's just like 3 minutes of some sort of asking yourself like, can we make it or not? That's it. But after that, there was so many. I mean, I went to the wrong direction 50 times and 20 times there. Like, what the fuck? Why am we played like this hard rock. I have still the demos on my phone, and sometimes listen to them. Like, but you had to try. You know, you had to take the wrong steps as well.
Right.
But since Kurt Nilsen and Oslo, like 3 years ago, that's when it kind of like started to find the tracks.